There we are, CharlieGtv, I'm here with
Mark Boswa.
Mark Boswell. Thank you so much for coming on today. So my question I have for you is, do you identify as a Detroit native, or are you perhaps from England, or are you perhaps from Jamaica or in Africa? How you identify?
Born and raised in Grand Rapids, of Tiv descent, Benue State.
Of Tiv descent, that sounds African.
Yeah. Benue State in Nigeria. Tiv, one of the smaller tribes from back home.
I really love that. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you so much for coming out today. So my question for you is, are you married at the moment?
No, I'm not.
So what, in your opinion, is the biggest challenge in modern dating?
Ooh, modern dating. It's actually interesting you bring up this topic. I went to a West African church this morning. I think if you're born and raised in the West, marriage is looked at as something that it's not looked at as the seriousness of people from maybe other countries. In particular, people born and raised in Nigeria, I feel like definitely look at marriage differently than those of us born and raised in the States. In the States, it's very lackadaisical. We have this idea that, you can date at any age, where just generally, I feel like those of us born and raised back home have a more serious approach to dating indoor marriage.
Understand that, dating indoor marriage. So look, a question I got for you, man. I've been telling people that the two populations that are outracing the rest of the human race are the Chinese and the Indian, and they are also the two races that also happen to practice arranged marriages the most. So my question to you, as a person that's perhaps more familiar with African culture, are there any cultures in Africa that practice arranged marriages?
I think there still is. I could be wrong, but I do just think there still are cultures that practice arranged marriages. I can only speak for myself. Us as Tiv people, no, we are not doing that. But even with that being said, I think there's, different sects to everything. I think there's arranged marriages, and then in the West you can just find it however you want to find it. But I still think African culture generally, or at least Nigerian culture, let me say that, it still is about finding out what the other person's family is about, and trying to see if there are connections and if there is a reason worth marrying. It's not just, about the individual. Here in the States, if the individual says, I want to marry person X, Y, or Z, they'll just go with it. But back home, you got to make sure, you find the right person, in particular, if the male's doing well enough, as he should be, etc. So, no, I am not privy to arranged marriages within my own family members, but I do think it still happens at places back home. I could be wrong.